Yes, sir. Okay, more questions. All right, so this is a video response. Okay, I got this. I think this was like 4 or 5 days ago, and I got this question here. This is from Thales. I think it's Thales 2008. I believe that's. I hope I'm right. Thales 2008 YouTube username. And his question was, let's see, can you make a video speaking about the most difficult things to Western people on learning Russian and about German? All right, I can talk a lot about German, but I mean, no, I'm sorry, not German, Russian, but not too much about German because I've only studied a little bit. But for Russian, in my experience, um at the beginning, I had a course, the living language, and it basically had audio, and I just kind of memorized different phrases and all that. I wasn't really studying grammar that much. Just memorized the important stuff, the hello, nice to meet you, and all that stuff when I worked at the gas station. But I didn't start noticing how difficult it was until I went out and got grammar books. Excuse me. Um, I realized that I needed to get more resources for that language. So I got the living language, and I got the dang, what's the name of that? I can't remember the name of that grammar book for Russian, but it was complicated. I got the Shams Russian grammar book also, and I was trying to understand the grammar, and it was a disaster. I was confused, and I remember spending like 2 weeks on one chapter trying to figure something out. It didn't make sense to me. And I found out later it was irregular. So I think for Westerners, I would say that grammar is the main problem. Grammar and probably pronunciation. Your grammar pronunciation. So yeah, that's something to consider. But I mean, like any other language, it's if you work hard and you take the right approach, you'll be successful. So after that, after I started, I spent all that time on that grammar. I stopped studying grammar. I realized that I had to take a different approach. So I just went back to memorizing things as I was doing before, and it started working. I noticed that I was becoming more conversational in Russian when I was memorizing all the grammar stuff. With the cases, I wasn't really paying attention to those. Just memorizing stuff from context, and I was successful with that. So I would say for a new learner of Russian, I would say to not start learning that language with grammar because it's going to be confusing. It works for some people, but um, for me it doesn't work. I can't start studying the language at the beginning through grammar. It just won't work. And this is something that was brought up many times. Steve Kaufman and some others, they talk about the you can't really start. What do you say? You can't start learning the language. You can't learn what you can't study a language before not knowing about the language. And I agree with him. You have to be familiar with things first. Like that's at least that's how I do it. I would use the books, and I would try to get memorize the things and through context, and then later on once I reach at least an intermediate level, upper intermediate level, or at least an intermediate level, then I will go back and start studying grammar because then everything will start making sense. Like you say, okay, so you do it this way, and do it that way. Now at the beginning, it's you're gonna have to learn some basics such as like personal pronouns, but those are very basic. But once you start getting into cases and all that, conjugations, then it starts getting complicated. So I would say just memorize things through context. Now German, I don't think German is as difficult as Russian, but I know that German has cases. From my experience, I didn't really have any problems. I didn't feel any difficulties for learning German. And yeah, it's a great language. It's fun to learn. So yeah, but I think if I were to choose out of Russian and German, I would go with Russian. I really love Russian. It's a great language. Um, yeah, that's how I feel about it for Russian. I think it's just for Westerners, I think the grammar and pronunciation. That's the only thing. The writing, the Cyrillic is not that bad. You just it has an alphabet. Just spend a couple weeks on it. Go through some dialogues, write them out, and get used to it that way. Other than that, it's just the grammar. So I hope I answered your question, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. And yeah, and those of you who are watching, what do you guys like? If you have experience learning Russian, what did you think was complicated for learning that language, or any language, any Slavic language? What do you think was complicated for learning those languages? So yeah, that's it for this video, and thanks for viewing. And like I said, if you have any other questions, let me know.